Hey guys, welcome to the stream. How's it going? I see Jonesy. I see Luke. I see you're talking about Joe Mama. That's exciting. What's going on, guys? How's it going? Hope all is well. Luke, you're still up. I can't believe it. Even after we had, the watch of Inception earlier, watching Christopher Nolan's popular film, prepping for Tenet. How is everyone today? What is going on? Hope all is well. Just getting set up here. Jonesy, how are you, buddy? Haven't seen you. Haven't chatted with you in a while. Sorry, thought I lost the stream there. That would not have been fun. So, what do we got going on, guys? Can you hear me all right? Make sure the mic is working. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Let me know if you can hear this. Yep, all good. Ay caramba. Welcome. What is going on? So did you guys see the news today? What's going on with Trolls and Universal in general now? It's a little wild. Guys are kind of quiet, huh? Damn Trolls. Yeah, so if you guys aren't familiar with it, Jonesy, I guess if you're not familiar with it all, what's been going on is that Trolls went straight to video on demand. And what we saw there was that it did rather well, whether that is just because people are actually at home or maybe people are just looking for something like that. They really want, an escape that is Trolls and not anything too serious in these days. But the biggest issue or the biggest thing that's coming out of it is that Universal has royally ticked off AMC Theaters. AMC Theaters is saying that they will not show any Universal properties in their theaters, mainly because it ruins the profit window for theaters. So there's a lot of issues with when movies go into actual theaters when they actually make money. AMC, Regals of the world, Cinemark, whatever's around you, Alamo. They're making most of their money at the concessions. And then, of course, they can make money, off the movie. But the longer the movie is in the theater, the more money the theater makes. So it's kind of a challenge, for theaters to survive if they're not getting these movies straight to them. So because there is this statistic out there that Trolls made more in just 2 weeks, I think it is, on video on demand, the sequel to Trolls, than the original Trolls did. Because that is a reality that we're living in, Universal is kind of really ticking off AMC, and AMC saying, we're done with you. We're not going to show your films. Regal has come out and said that they won't do it either. They're referring to the theatrical window. So if the theatrical window is broken, then they're not going to show the Universal movies. So, Jonesy, that's sensitive AF. Yeah, I mean, that's the craziest thing, right? And that's what I keep saying when people are asking me my opinion on it, is that we are not at a point where we are seeing VOD as the successor to the movies, to the theaters. What we are actually seeing, and I think what is going to continue to happen, is that in times like this, of course, a movie is going to do well when it releases straight to VOD, especially excuse me, if it is a children's movie, which, parents are at home with their kids trying to work, trying to do whatever, it's a good distraction. It also costs a little bit more, right? It's $20 to rent versus, $12 to go to the theater, $13 to go to the theater. So it is a challenge there. It is a difference. And the other piece is that we're all home. So a movie that goes straight to VOD may do better now than it would do in theaters because we are all home and all looking for that content. And when it comes to Trolls, there wasn't anything else released that is really going to challenge that. So I think that it's something that is just a flash in the pan. It's a one-time thing, and I don't know that we'll see this continuing as something that other theaters other studios are going to do. But what we have going on is some challenges over what is coming down the line with Universal. So some of the big franchises, you're talking about the Fast and the Furious franchise, you're talking about the Jurassic World franchise. Trying to think about in the upcoming year or so what that would mean for us. But it puts those movies into some sort of limbo. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen there? I had said before, and I still kind of stand by this, I think that the theaters need to play a little nicer right now, and really work with the studios to figure out a way to get the content out there. AMC does have a screening room of some sort, and I know that there's some older movies that they're putting on, but I'm not sure that this is something that we are going to. If I was a theater executive, especially with AMC and the rumors that they're not going to make it through the summer, I don't know that this is the hill I would want to die on at this point, recognizing that the entire industry is turned upside down right now. So that's really the big news and the crazy news to come out of today. Who knows kind of where that's going to go and what that's going to turn into. But it is potentially a redefining moment for the industry, although I don't know that we're going that route. I think back to when other industries have had to really kind of grow and change and adapt. And, streaming was never something that we thought we would see really take off. And now it's part of everyday culture. And we might be at that point now where we are looking for the next step to theaters. There are still films out there, like Tenet is a prime example, that we're going to want to see in theaters, right? And then there's other, bombastic, cinematic adventures that you have to see in theaters. Major sci-fi films are movies that you want to see in theaters because of the sound, the experience, the lights, the size. And I don't see that changing. I think that that's something we're going to continue to have to experience there. So leveraging all that, and thinking about backing up a little bit to Avatar and what James Cameron does in investing in, the experience of the theater goer when it comes to the Avatar series and the however many 4 more, I think, that we're expecting, that's not going to fly, right? Avatar now being part of Disney, but still, it's not going to fly. So I don't know, guys. What do you think would happen or will happen? Do you see more movies going to VOD? Do you see more movies going to streaming? I am surprised that we haven't seen more go to streaming. I know that's something that we had talked about a lot in the past. But, aside from Trolls, there really hasn't been anything that debuted on streaming. That's usually where we see, or debuted on VOD, that's usually where we see some indie films go that don't really have a larger draw, I would say, in the theaters. So they pop onto these streaming services, they pop on the VOD, the movie Come to Daddy, with what's his name from Lord of the Rings, it's escaping my mind right now, Frodo Baggins, is that went straight to VOD. That's one of those examples. So I don't know. Luke, give Tenet what? So Jonesy is saying Star Wars 1917, Ford versus Ferrari, Avatar, and many others need a theater, and I totally agree with that. There are films that are made for the theater, made for the experiences. I would also argue that as a genre, horror is one that is really made for a theater when they play on sound or lack thereof, jump scares, things like that. I think that it's something that we really need to focus on. Honestly, I think my reviews are skewed when I see something at home versus the theater. I would agree with that. I do totally agree with that. There are certain films that I've watched recently that I thought if I saw this in the theater, I may have liked this a lot more than I did now because I have distractions and maybe I'm cutting in and out. Maybe I'm taking more bathroom breaks than I would have before because I can pause it. Um, I don't know. I do miss the escape of going to a theater. There's nothing quite like when I use that as my therapy in a way. There's nothing quite like heading to the theater to just shut everything off. And if we don't have that option, this is apocalyptic. We are going to have that option, but what is it going to look like, and how are we going to get back to it? We need it. Luke is saying, give me Tenet, please. I know that he's been excited for that for quite a while. But other than that, as I eat an ice cube, other than that, there's not much more, really going on, I would say, in the movie world. I mean, we haven't seen many new previews come out. They're talking a little bit about, speaking of Avatar, I think Slash Film reported today that there was a picture circulating with Sigourney Weaver on the set. So it seems like, worst kept secret in the world, she's going to be back in some capacity, which is kind of neat for people that like her. And I'm trying to just skim through a little bit, see what else we got going on. In terms of movies that are going to streaming, My Spy is still hanging out there. We've been waiting to see when Amazon is going to release it on Prime Video. They've yet to do that. And, it's a weird world when that's the release that we're looking for, right? Capone next week will be coming out. That looks pretty good. Arkansas with Liam Hemsworth will be following. There are some releases that will be making their way downtown, if you will. Vanessa Carlton. So, other than that, what movie news, comments, thoughts, what's on your mind? Let's get some chat going about it. It's really funny when you're looking at different movie websites that the Trolls story is the top everywhere, which is just a whole strange world that we're in right now. Virtual Star Wars convention coming up. Think this is just a temporary hiccup. People are a little more sensitive than normal, especially about money. I can imagine big companies don't like anything affecting their money. Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think that they're, especially AMC, that's in a position where they're worried about what the future is going to look like. If they're even going to make it, I think that they're trying to hold on to what they can. But at the same time, I don't know that that's the best business strategy for them to, start this very public argument and battle with them, with Universal. So we shall see how that plays out. But it would stink if we lose a big theater chain like AMC. Luke says, many Bond movies I need to watch. I still have not watched the previous one. I am all caught up otherwise. But I am looking forward to, No Time to Die when that comes out. The only thing that kind of bothers me is, and I've said this before, but with Daniel Craig, it was very well known that he wasn't interested in playing Bond anymore. And for me, watching a movie where the actor is not fully committed or doesn't want to be there kind of bothers me. So I don't know. I've been struggling with them a little bit, but hopefully this last outing is going to be, hopefully they save the best for last. Not sure kind of where the series goes after that. There's been rumors for a while of Richard Madden potentially stepping into the role. There was a lot of rumors for a while about making Bond female. But I think even the Bond writers have come out and said that Bond is not a female. That's not something that, they're interested in doing. What's very interesting to me is when you see the arguments about, taking a predominantly or well-known male character and sort of just gender swapping them. We've seen that with Ghostbusters. We've seen that with so many other films. And really, at this point in our society, why are we not just developing quality original products for women to spearhead? And that, I think, drives me a little bit insane that they try to recreate the wheel. It never works because a recreation of anything is never going to be as good as the original. And then there's a scapegoat of, well, it was female led, and that's not accurate at all. And that fuels the trolls online. So I really would like to see some work done there. But the other rumor is that Idris Elba is going to be up for Bond, so he would be the first African American Bond, which I think would be pretty solid. He's a great actor, but my money is on Richard Madden. I really like him. I think that he's a young guy to play it, and could really build that, build Bond a little bit. Let's see. Excited about Raimi as the villain. I actually am as well. I think that he is a unique person, a unique actor. Mr. Robot is definitely a unique series that he was in. But I'm just wondering what his deal is in this movie. I hate that, of course, they have to throw scars on the face and all of that, and he has those creepy moments in the trailers that we've seen. But hey, I'm open to it. Let's see what happens. I'm not quite sure what the dynamics are going to be of this film. But I'm definitely open to seeing what it's about. So who knows? Other than that, I've said multiple times that I'm looking forward to Black Widow. I can't wait for the MCU to get started again. The next phase will be hopefully really exciting and really expansive. I know that we're dealing with some delays with Doctor Strange and with Black Widow being moved back. A lot of the others, like Eternals and stuff like that, got moved. Eternals got bumped into March of next year. But I think it will be good. It also gives them an opportunity to figure out what they're doing with the shows on Disney Plus and get them up and going, because apparently they're going to factor into the larger MCU as well. So with production being paused all around, of course, they want to make sure that they're able to get them going. Other than that, in terms of movies that I am excited for the rest of the year, I was actually really looking forward to Jungle Cruise. There's just something about Disney movies that are always fun, and Emily Blunt is absolutely incredible. And I love the Rocket movie, so I think that was going to be a lot of fun. Upset that it got pushed back a year. Upset that In the Heights is not coming out for another year. Musical is always a good way to kind of find some escapism, especially when we're in this crazy world that we're in. And yeah, I don't know. Dune obviously looks great. Looking forward to that. Yeah, going to be some crazy moves for movies coming up. My question is, kind of going back to the conversation about streaming, are we going to see them pop onto streaming more? Some of the movies that aren't so, people aren't so pumped for, or maybe are gambles in theaters. Are we going to see them pop onto VOD? Are we going to see them pop onto Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or whatever, just so that they can make some money back in the studios? Because if not, everything's going to get pushed back pretty far. And Math Teacher Movies and I were talking about it on a live stream earlier tonight on Instagram. But one of the things that you got to remember is a lot of movies have already been shut down in terms of their production. We've seen that there's some movies that are halfway through, or however much they've done. The challenge there is you can only push them for so far. For so long, I should say. What happens to the footage that you've already filmed? What happens to other contractual obligations that these actors may have? It really does kind of jumble things. And if everything gets pushed to the same time frame, say 2021, there's only so many weekend release dates, and things are going to get a little crazy. But Big Up Scoob, yeah, that's another one going to VOD. I forgot to mention that. That comes out tomorrow. No, that's a lie. That comes out next week, I believe, or the week after. So let's see. Random thought here. Caitlin Dever came out and said she would love to play Ellie in HBO's Last of Us. Love the game. Love her. It's perfect now if we can get a great Joel. Yeah, that would be awesome. That's part of the challenges with these video game adaptations is casting. We've seen a lot of challenges around Uncharted with Tom Holland. We've just seen a lot of issues around faulty video game movies in the past. I think Sonic really kind of broke out and did well. I don't know if that was about casting, more so the tone of the movie. You think back to movies like, Detective Pikachu was pretty solid. There's some good things going on in the video game, the movie world, and hopefully they continue it with video game to TV like this. I know that this was definitely a beloved video game series, and they'd be good to get it right. Same goes for Halo. For Xbox fans, they've been working on a Halo series or project for God knows how long, and I think Showtime has that. So we'll see if that continues. I quite personally would like to see it go the way of a Netflix, where we see a budget and some attention, such as Lost in Space got. They did a great job of Lost in Space, and that was due to budget and creative freedom. So I would like to see that continue with properties like this, but we don't always get that. The Witcher is another prime example of Netflix giving free reign to the series creators and the showrunners, and look what happened with that. So I'm with you there. I think Caitlin Denver would be solid for Ellie. Joel, I'm not sure who I would go with for him. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Halo would be great. I'm very excited for it. I don't know. I think that there's enough story there to really kind of create a whole new world and really take us into a different type of, intergalactic battle than, we rely on with Star Trek and Star Wars. So I would love to see something different there. But I'm not holding my breath because it just seems like they can't quite get it right. Excuse me. I think Spielberg was involved at one point. Spielberg is obviously focused on other things right now. So we'll see where that goes. All right, guys, I am going to wrap it up here. It was fun chatting. Wanted to get some conversation going around the stuff that's going on with AMC, Regal, and Universal, and I'm glad we were able to discuss that. Hopefully this will be informative to anyone that watches. You guys have a great night, and I will be chatting with you soon, I am sure. Take care.